Israel's declaration of war almost immediately saw a response and spillover effect from groups allied with Hamas under the umbrella called the Axis of Resistance. As Israeli strikes began pounding Gaza, Lebanon's Hezbollah group launched missiles towards Israel. Lebanon is a small country with a population of about 5.5 million people, which borders Syria to the north and east and Israel to the south. Tensions remained adversely high along the Israel-Lebanon border, where most of the fighting took place this year. But escalations reached new levels in July, eventually leading to a massive Israeli incursion of Lebanon. A rocket slammed into a soccer field in Majd al-Shams in the Israel-controlled Golan Heights, killing 12 children. Israel blamed Hezbollah for the attack, which the armed group denied. Sparking a major escalation, the IDF carried out an airstrike in the capital of Lebanon and killed Hezbollah's senior-most military commander, Fouad Shukr. The man, they claimed, was the mastermind behind the Majd al-Shams attack. This was a major blow to Hezbollah, and the group vowed revenge. A day later, Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh was killed in Tehran, throwing the entire West Asian region on the verge of a wider war. Just as Hezbollah had vowed, they carried out a large attack on Israel, firing 320 Katyusha rockets targeting 11 Israeli bases and barracks to avenge the death of their commander. Israel, on the other hand, carried out airstrikes in Lebanon as a preemptive action, striking 40 locations in southern Lebanon with about 100 fighter jets. In September, Lebanon was rocked by perhaps the worst form of asymmetric warfare the nation had ever seen. "32 people were killed and nearly 4,000 people injured as thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies simultaneously exploded across Lebanon and Syria. Most of these devices belonged to Hezbollah members. The group accused Israel of this ghastly attack. Netanyahu remained silent on the matter, but Israel's then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant tacitly acknowledged the country's role one day after the pager attack, calling it an excellent achievement, together with the Shin Bet and Israeli intelligence Mossad. What followed was one of the most intense air raids on Lebanon in modern warfare, causing the highest single-day death toll in decades in the country. Israel's airstrike left large parts of southern Lebanon in ruins, forcing tens of thousands of people to flee. At least 558 people were killed in a single day, including women, children, and healthcare workers. More than 1,800 were injured, according to Lebanon's health ministry. The hostilities finally escalated, leading to the death of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, who died in an Israeli strike on Beirut, marking Israel's biggest blow to Hezbollah. Israel invaded Lebanon on October 1st, crossing into southern territory, ordering over 24 towns to move north of the Abali River. Wide-scale aerial and ground attacks targeted the south of Lebanon to its capital, Beirut. Most of Hezbollah's top brass was eliminated in the attacks, along with civilian casualties. Many UN peacekeepers operating in Lebanon were wounded in the strikes. Finally, after over a year of deadly battle, Israel and Hezbollah agreed to a 60-day ceasefire deal brokered by the US and France. The deal stipulates the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Lebanon, with only Lebanese military and UN peacekeeping forces present south of the Litani River. As per the Lebanese Health Ministry, close to 3,800 people were killed in Lebanon, including at least 240 children, with over 15,000 injured and at least 140 documented attacks on Lebanon's healthcare facilities. Over 900,000 people were displaced, and as many as 560,000 crossed into Syria. But despite a truce deal, a UN agency has accused Israel of breaching the ceasefire deal over 100 times since the agreement came into effect on November 27th. As the year comes to a close, the Israel-Lebanon border continues to remain highly volatile.